Thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank Mr. Bracy for just having the vision to have a school of motivation. Mr. Bracy, your new name is the touchstone of motivation, so add that to the rest of your names. I have a little bit of bad news. My purpose here today is not to have a perfect talk. It is to have an authentic talk with my story. I was born in 1966, the proud son of Grover Alexander Thompson and Patricia Francine Cox. I lived in Los Angeles, California on the corner of Pico and Rimpau. And by the age of 4, I felt loved by my family. I mean, it was a time that I just loved. And one of my earliest memories was one morning about 6 o'clock in the morning. Everything started shaking. My room started shaking. The fish started shaking. And I ran into my parents' room, and they were running out of the room. I'm like, well, where are you guys going? I'm like, what's going on here? So we ran all into the den. I'm going, what is going on? That was the Sylmar earthquake of 1971. And my mom and dad and I, we sat in that den all day. We just laid there because there were aftershocks all day long. And there was really nothing you could do anyway. So we just sat there. And was I scared? Yes. I was truly scared. I want everybody to say scared. Scared. I was scared. But you know what? Being scared is not so bad when you have family around. So once the earthquake and all the aftershocks stopped happening, my mom said to my dad, okay, we got to get up all out of here because I got to be on the level because we were on the second level. We got to be on the ground if we ever get another earthquake. So we moved to Gardena, California, which was about 30 miles south of LA. And it was a great neighborhood, very diverse. And I enjoyed Gardena. I mean, I played, one of my passions was skateboarding. I love skateboarding. I mean, my mom and dad used to take me to the skateboard parks and I'd have fun. Now, this was back in the day. We did it old school. We didn't have the helmet, the knee pads, the elbow pad. These kids nowadays got all that stuff fall and still cry. But, you know, but we did it the old school way. When you fell, you got up, you rubbed it off. And that was the way it was. That was old school style. But there was a show that came on back in the day. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it. It's called The Wide World of Sports. And it came on Saturdays on Channel 7, ABC. And I used to love The Wide World of Sports because they had like boxing and football and all kind of things going on. And there was a gentleman there that came on. His name was Howard Cosell. And there was something about Howard Cosell. He would interview Muhammad Ali, George Frazier. I'm going, man, and I was just enthralled with Howard Cosell. I just loved Howard Cosell. So that's what I was doing on my Saturdays, just watching Howard Cosell. I would say this, that, what is the other name there? One of the other things that I like to do, my mom enjoyed doing, she was a banker for Coldwell Banker. Ever since I know my mom, she was in the banking industry, and that's how I kind of knew my mom. But my dad, he had a more fun job. He worked at Sears, one of my favorite stores, Sears, and he would go to work. He had on a tie, and he was a TV salesman. And there were times where I could go into work with him, and I can go play with the Ataris and the Segas, and just have a really good time. And there were some perks to having a dad that worked at Sears because he would bring home toys. I mean, good toys. I mean, like Rock'em Sock'em Robot toys. I mean, I remember that Rock'em Sock'em. We had Rock'em Sock'em Robot competitions. We played Rock'em Sock'em Robots. We had a lot of fun. But I was also a tough-skinned kid. I mean, my dad brought home clothes, and I'd wear tough-skins. Anybody remember tough-skins? They had the patches in the knees, so you couldn't wear those knees out. And in my neighborhood, you couldn't just wear the tough-skins. You had to have a crease in the tough-skins. So I ironed the patch and the pants. I went out with creases in my tough-skins, and don't forget, my Chuck Taylors, had my Converse, every single color. I'm sure you remember those Chuck Taylors. Those really nice. That was a wonderful time in my life, and I enjoyed it. Around the age of 10, my mom won a trip to Hawaii. And I kept begging my mom, Mom, can I please go? I want to go to Hawaii. And she said, no, I only have one ticket. And she didn't want to spend the extra money on me. So I kept begging her and begging her. And finally, I got her to take me to Hawaii with her. She went with a girlfriend. And it was an amazing trip. I'm 10 years old. I'm at a luau. I'm seeing the hula dancers doing their thing. And it was just a great time. When I got back, my dad was there. My family was there. And at the age of 10, that was just an amazing time for me. About 6 months after that trip to Hawaii, my mom came to me and said, Mark, your father and I are going to get a divorce. Well, what does that mean? What does a divorce mean? Who do you want to live with, Mark? Your dad or me? Oh, that's what divorce means. I got to choose between my mom and my dad. So as a son, I chose my dad because I was a little bit closer with my dad. Not that I didn't love my mom, but I wanted to be with my dad. So my early years of high school, first year of high school, I lived with my dad, and I developed a love for track and field with my freshman year of high school. And it was a great time again. I was trying to make do with the divorce and the separation. And my mom and dad decided, because my mom was now remarried, that I would live with my mom. And my mom lived in Palmdale, California, about an hour north of Los Angeles. So I moved in with my mom and her new husband and his daughter. So now I'm going through these growing pains. I mean, I have a different man in the house with my mom. I mean, it's just different having a stepdad there and going through those growing pains. And about 2 years into this relationship, we're living in Palmdale. My stepdad stopped working, and my mom was supporting the family. She had 2.5 jobs. She had two kind of full-time jobs and a part-time job to support the family. She was doing whatever it took to support the family. Fast forward, I'm 40 years old. I'm looking back on life going, wow, what is this about? I asked this question, why am I here? What is my reason for being here? Again, this is 25 years later. And at the time, I didn't know. But I had a turning point in my life. And I truly believe this. God said something to me that this is what you need to be doing. I found my passion. I found my gift. There's a quote by Tyrese Gibson. You want to make God laugh? Tell him your plan. And I began to look inside. I began to not worry about the external things that were going on around me, but I began to look inside to see what I could give. And I found the thing that I wanted to give this world. I found what my contribution was to this world. I saw the world through new eyes. And when I did that, I realized that God had brilliantly planned my past to prepare me for my future. Because we're all on a path. How many of us are on a path to greatness? On that path to greatness, we're going to be scared, like I was back on that couch with my parents. But being scared is okay when you're around family. It's okay. Down that path of greatness, you are going to see the thrill of victory, like going to Hawaii, or the agony of defeat, going through a divorce. That path toward your greatness is going to involve that you make some tough decisions. Just like the decision that I made when I was 10, when I decided who I wanted to live with. A tough decision, and I'm still making those tough decisions. Down that path, you are going to do or have to do whatever it takes to to make that dream happen. Just like my mom. Oh my God. See, we are going down this path for a reason. We have things that happen in our lives that are life lessons. But we have to see these lessons with new eyes. That's what we have to do. We have to find what the lesson is, because what you went through last year, there was a reason you went through that. You've got to find the reason. God so brilliantly planned what happened to me to prepare me for this very moment in time. I know I'm on his path, not my path. I'm on his path because my path wasn't working. You've got to commit to your path, period. This is my plan A, and there is no plan B. Commit to your path because your greatness is on that path. My name is Mark Thompson, reminding you that a focused mind can achieve the impossible.